So we've all been through tough times in our lives and times when we think that we can't get through them. But there's one thing that I've always tried to do, and that's always tried to keep a positive mindset. And I spoke briefly about this in my previous video. So the other day I was watching a Chris Williamson, and he was interviewing Matthew McConaughey, who I absolutely adore, and I love watching his videos and listening to him speak because it's always with like a positive attitude. No matter what he's gone through, there's always like a positive ending. Obviously, he's multi-million superstar, movie star, and so it had me thinking about something that he said about his mum. So he came from quite a working class family, and his mum would go through things with this sense of denial, even going through cancer and chemo and stuff, just with this sense of denial, but always keeping a positive mindset. Whether she knew that she was doing this or whether the denial of the hardships that she was going through basically kept these things at bay, almost like manifesting. So it had me thinking about how I deal with my positive mindset and getting through hurdles that I've had to get over in my life. And one thing that I've always done is I would always assess the situation, allow myself to emotionally deal with the situation, give myself a couple of days to cry, to stress, to worry about it. And then I would have to take charge of this and, you know, take it by the reins and think about a way out of this. Okay, so no matter what's happened, so I'll give you an example. Recently, my cat passed away, and he was biggest love of my life. Well, not the biggest love of my life, but he was a big part of my life, and we'd had him for 15 years, and he passed away unexpectedly. I gave myself a couple of days to grieve, and then I came back into the room and became my usual self again. Obviously, I think about it a lot, and I will have days where I still grieve over him. And then I switch to logical thinking. So I allow myself to process the emotions, and then the logical thinking steps in. And like I said, with my cat, a couple of days later, I came back in the room and had to get on with life. I had a few days crying in bed, and then no, by the second day, I'm like, no, I need to, who's going to clean my house? Who's going to cook my food? Obviously, I had my partner helping me out a lot then, thank you. But then I had to get through this. And this I would apply to every hurdle that I've been through in life. Whether it's, not being paid on time or anything like that, when I'm struggling with money, all sorts of things. I know that, you can stress for a little while, but logic has to kick in and you have to take charge and get through this. Keeping focused on the task at hand. If you've got things that you need to get through, having that logical thinking. Obviously, you have to deal with the emotional aspects too, the stress, the worry, but dwelling on it isn't going to help you in those situations. So dealing with the situation, being logical, and actioning anything that you need to do to get yourself through those hard times. The more you dwell, the harder it is to get out of these situations. This mindset, so a positive mindset, basically clicking on that switch and then dealing with life as you usually would. You can't ignore those emotions too. Those need to be dealt with first. I also like to think of any of these little hurdles or hardships that you've been through in your life are life lessons. They make you a bigger person. So any sort of trauma that I've been through, any of the struggles that I've been through, I look back at them now and it's like, yeah, they were there to teach me a lesson and to make me a stronger person. At the time, it's hard to think that when you're struggling at the time and you're really trying to process a situation or hard time, trying to get through that, think at the time not thinking that, are you, but you can look back on the things that have happened in your life, and you know that you've grown to be a better person from those things that have happened, whether it be breakup or whether it be, for me, there was lots of things, a number of things, like having situations with my family members that I thought that I couldn't deal with, being estranged from my mum for a while, um, you know relationship I had with my mum to make us estranged in the first place, and now that's turned itself on its head. And I'll speak to you about that in a different episode. But that has basically been a life changing lesson for me. Um, but all these, hurdles in life are all there to. I call them hurdles because you're kind of almost getting over them every time. I think of hardships in my life as hurdles. You get over them, they've gone, and you're going forward. And that's how I manage to keep a positive mindset. You always know that these life lessons are there, and effectively you are going to be a different person from learning from those. You can either sink or you can swim. And I know what I'm always like. I will always allow myself to have the space to swim. You will get through this, and I'll help you get through this. Also, surrounding yourself with people that can support you. My support network years ago was absolutely zero, which I will talk to you about in a different video. And now I have a great friendship circle who I like to think that we are all real with each other. So if we are being, you know, ridiculous, or we are normally ridiculous with each other, but if we are being I'm going to say, if we're being dickheads, my friendship circle, our group of friends, will basically call us up on it and tell you about yourself. And that's like, for me, that keeps me real. I don't want fake friends that are going to allow me to behave in a way that makes people uncomfortable or anything like that. I'm very real. I'm a very real person. My friends are very real. And we pull each other up on our bad, like, if we've got a bad attitude about something, or a negative mindset about something, we will pull each other up and we'll talk it through, and we'll speak about it for a long time, mull over it, and find ways out for each other too. And I know a lot of people don't have that. You might not have that, but that's when you have a mindset coach that comes in and will basically keep you accountable and help you through processing any of the negative hardships that you're going through. And also, finally, there's always a way out. No matter what you're going through at the time, it might feel like at the time that there's no way out, and you feel like the struggle is so hard that you can't take charge of it, and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But believe me, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Trying to keep positive when you're in that mindset of struggling and uncontrollable, unbearable despair or something, and you feel like there's no way out. There always is. And that's when you can take a coach or speak to your friends. If you haven't got any friends, then possibility of reaching out to a coach or any kind of person that you can speak to help you mull things over and think in that positive mindset. um there's always a hope and there's always a way out. It's just that if you dwell on the negative situations in your life, it's just going to pull you down even further. So getting yourself out of that, digging yourself out of that, allowing yourself days to emotionally process what you're going through, but then you have to act on it and take the ball by the horns and get yourself out of this. um and if you need help with this, that's where I can come in and help you. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful. You take some of these points on board, because they're, genuinely life skills that I've taught myself. If you found any of these tips useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow this channel and I want to help as many people as I can and engage with my content, so I can help you and other people. And if there are other videos that you want me to make, let me know in the comments below. And if you found any of these tips helpful or unhelpful, let me know in the comments below. I know it's not as easy as flicking a switch and thinking that you're going to have that positive mindset straight away, but gradually, if you have a word with yourself, and you can also change your mindset too.